semi-final.
Brian Clough describes Roy Keane as a charming young man, adding that Keane has been the lucky break he's had this season. And Keane's rise has been dramatic. 12 months ago, Roy Keane was living in southwest Ireland. He was unemployed and playing semi-professional football for Cove Ramblers.
Average gates, I suppose, 600-700 a week. So average player, I suppose, getting about £50-60 a week, which isn't bad. If you have a job as well, it wasn't bad enough for me. I was only 17, 18, picking up 50 quid every week or whatever.
What sort of standard is it, though, in relation to football in this country?
Well, it's the years behind. Because Cove, I used to play for our first division. The Premier isn't bad, but the first division is fairly poor. But the grounds, they're years behind.
This is where Roy Keane learned his football, outside the family home in Cork. Inside, his parents have closely followed his football career.
That was Roy, just when he arrived over, and he was just in time for the Nottingham Forest official photograph for the season, so he was just in time. And he's there now all the time since.
There's the boss.
And there's Brian Clough himself, who was a terrible nice person, wasn't he? It's unbelievable.
It's magic.
And it's grand, we're getting a great kick out of it. We're not shouting about it, but...
Oh, yeah.
But you'd have to be proud.
Everything seemed to happen very quickly for me, really. I didn't get much chance to think about it, because one minute I was on trial, and next they're offering me a contract. And after they've offered me a contract, one or two other clubs have come in, but I've just made up my mind that I'm going to sign for Forest. And there was just something taught me this. I had a gut feeling in me that was just the right club for me. The pace of the game was way quicker over here than it is at home. So that was the main thing, getting used to the pace. About 90 miles an hour over here, you know what I mean, compared to back home.
Plenty of Keane's relations will be making the trip from Ireland to Wembley. He, though, still can't quite take in what's happened in the last year.
I know, it's just unbelievable. Obviously, a lot of ambitions, but one of them obviously to play with a first division club and then getting to Wembley, of course, is just fantastic.
Well, this is the Nottingham Forest team hotel in leafy Beaconsfield in Buckinghamshire, and to describe their stay here for the last 48 hours as quiet and low-key would be something of an understatement. Forest's presence here has been about as inconspicuous as the wallpaper, and with an absence of the usual hangers-on and autograph hunters and the like, it's been so quiet around the hotel that a lot of the guests didn't even know they were staying here. Obviously, it's a bit different at the moment. The bus has pulled up outside the hotel, and the players look as though they're about to get on board to start the journey to Wembley in a very short time. Manager Brian Clough and his assistant Ronnie Fenton took a stroll a little while ago, and we do know that as they slipped into a side door of the hotel here, the walk wasn't to discuss team selection, because the Forest players, who took their own stroll shortly afterwards, had slept last night in the knowledge of who would be playing and who would not. Brian Clough took his players by surprise on a coach returning from training yesterday when he actually announced the team. Now, his choices significantly involved fullback and who to leave out in midfield. And Brian has opted for youth. 21-year-old Gary Charles is at right back. 19-year-old Roy Keane returns in midfield. And so Brian Laws and Steve Hodge are both only named as substitutes. And with Lee Glover and Ian Wone also in the team, it means almost half the side are aged 22 or under and have no experience of a Wembley Cup final. Indeed, the average age of this team is just 23 and a half. Forest say they've got no specific plans to deal with Paul Gascoigne this afternoon, and they're much more conscious that for them, the problem will be how all these young players react to the Wembley Cup final experience.
After the match, I've got to go to work.
He's got to go to work, he says, Brian Clough. Well, I don't know if he sees it as work when he gets here, but that's Forest setting out for Wembley. Police escort. They'll be here shortly, and we'll see them when they arrive, and we'll have all the build-up for you, of course. But now it's news time, and Moira Stewart. There's a young man, Keane,
yes,
the Irish boy.
Exceptional find this season from nowhere, really. Can you pronounce where he came from, Des?
Yes, Cove. Cove Rangers, C-O-V-H, yeah, down in the south of Ireland.
Most impressive lad. A lovely shot at goal, strong, good limbs on him, loves getting all over the field. I hope he's fit enough. He's had an injury problem. I just hope he's fit enough. I don't think Brian Clough would play him if he wasn't and he hadn't proved his fitness.
Because we haven't had confirmation of the teams yet, have we? But
well, he did. Tony Gubber said that team had been picked in the coach yesterday, so it seems he's in the side. And right. Hodge is sub. I mean, that...
We still await absolute confirmation.
Yeah, indeed.